Tēnā koutou katoa, my name is Ururoa, I'm Member of Parliament for Waiariki. I've been asked to provide an explanation about the party vote, and I'll do my best. First thing is you need to know is that when you go to vote, you have two votes. One for the candidate, one for the party. I won't talk about the candidate one too much because that just relies on you voting for a person who represents a particular party. The party vote, however, is really important because that determines much of the makeup of Parliament. When you give your party vote, it's assessed throughout the whole country, and let's say that the Green Party or any other party gets X% of the vote. In other words, 5% of the country votes for you. You get about 5 members of Parliament. 1% equals 1 member of Parliament, there or thereabouts. The catch, of course, is that your party, if you don't get any members of Parliament, must achieve a 5% threshold. In other words, New Zealand First, they get 6% of the party vote throughout the country, they get about 6 or 7 MPs. If, however, they get 4% of the vote, 4.9% of the vote even, not at 5%, they get no MPs whatsoever. But there's an exception, and the exception is if you and your party get 1 member of Parliament as a candidate. I'll use the Māori Party as an example. I win Waiariki, we already have 1 person in Parliament. In the past we've seldom gone over 2%, so there's no increase. If, however, the Māori Party achieved 4% of the vote, and I'm a sitting member and we achieve 4% of the vote, then what happens is, because we've 4% equals 4 MPs, I drag in about another 3 MPs into Parliament, 3 or 4 MPs into Parliament. So that's the simple explanation. The party vote is really important because it can drag in other members of Parliament. And the last part of that scenario is exactly why the Green Party, for example, have said, give us your party vote, because they don't stand people in the seats. They simply ask you to give their party vote. They get about 10% of the vote. They get about 10 or 12 MPs. That's how they get into Parliament. But the key is 2 parts. 1, unless you get to 5% by yourself, you have no members of Parliament. 1% of the party vote equals about 1 MP. And the exception is when you're able to win a seat, like myself, and get about 3, 4, 5, 10% of the vote, you are able to drag in other members of Parliament. That's the best explanation I can give for a party vote. I hope it's helpful.